I'm from New York, and New Yorkers are scared. The reason is, I'm just going to go through a few incidents that have occurred in the last few years. July 2008, Sublette County, Wyoming, hydrologists tested a water well and found it contained benzene 1,500 times the level of safe for people. September 2009, Dimock, PA, environment officials clean up 8,000 gallons of drilling fluids at a well site run by Cabot Oil and Gas. The contaminant seeped into a nearby creek, resulting in a fish kill. July 2010, Tioga County, Pennsylvania, Department of Agriculture announced to quarantine cattle from Tioga County Farm after a number of cows came in contact with drilling wastewater. April 2010, Dimock, Pennsylvania, PADEP ordered Cabot Oil and Gas to close and remove an earthen pit that had tears and holes in the liner. February 2008, Parachute, Colorado, approximately 1.6 million gallons of used frac fluid leaked from a waste pit, soaking into the ground and eventually reaching the Colorado River. March 2007, Apache, Wash, Utah, a lined reserve pit used to store drilling fluid leaked an estimated 1,200 gallons of drilling fluid. Testing 8 days later in the Green River showed foaming agents found in drilling fluid was a potential cause. June 2008, Susquehanna County, West Virginia. An estimated 800 gallons of diesel fuel used to power a natural gas rig leaked from a tank located 350 feet from a wetland. June 2010, Clearfield County, Pennsylvania. EOG Resources cut corners, failing to put proper pressure barriers in place and caused a blowout that shot natural gas and wastewater into open air for 16 hours. June 2010, Cleburne, Texas. A large natural gas line in North Texas erupted after utility workers accidentally hit it. There are many, many more instances just like this. Look into them.
The Highlands Conservancy has certainly applauded EPA for what you're doing now, and we encourage you to be as strong as you can in terms of looking into all of the things that you hear about tonight and at the other meetings. Tonight, however, I would like to speak on behalf of my community group, Friends of the Little Kanawha, in southern Upshur County, West Virginia. Many of us depend upon our springs and our wells, and even directly from the streams for our drinking water. And what I would like for EPA not to lose sight of in this study is the major amount of withdrawals from some of these headwater streams that we rely on daily, and we adapt when they flow low and our water is low. But when indeed the withdrawals take away what we would normally be relying on, it has a direct impact on how we can live and how we can maintain without public water supply, which most of us do out in the extreme headwaters. The headwaters are especially this last summer when it was so dry, very, very fragile, and they were being pumped dry. We have gauges in West Virginia, but the gauge for our headwaters of the Little Kanawha are in another watershed, much further downstream, and a much larger portion of the river. So even when the gas companies are very attuned to what they are recommended or guided to do by the state regulatory agencies, they could be seeing that they could take water according to the gauges downstream in the Elk, and they would be sucking rock from our headwater streams. So please don't overlook the withdrawals in terms of affecting and impacting our drinking water. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to go through one of those transitional phases. Laura's in the middle of the room, and if you are wearing wristband 26.
As many businesses have managed to abuse financial, environmental, and economic conditions. Daily I pass residual waste trucks with the hoses deep in the creeks and streams surrounding my home. What they are drawing out or putting into these waters is unknown to most. As an individual, if I were to do the same, I would no doubt be fined, arrested, and held apart from my home and family. Likewise, the roadways in our area are suffering terribly from the traffic that they simply were not built to handle. If I, as an individual, would run my heavy farm equipment over soft and tar roads, I would be liable for their repair. Indeed, these corporations are bonded, but the process involved in obtaining these repairs demands hours of persistence and time and money that most of our small townships simply do not have. My second concern is the ill-conceived notion that this new, poorly researched gas drilling industry is patriotic in that it puts Americans to work, as well as making us more energy independent. I take issue with both of these points. Indeed, there will be jobs to be had, but at what cost? Thousands of fine German citizens receive paychecks as a result of their work in concentration camps, but again, at what cost? Productive, good-paying jobs can be had in sustainable, non-invasive, safe industries, and these industries are perfectly capable of aiding in America's great need for energy independence. Finally, the issue of our fragile environment is rarely considered in the big scheme of corporate decision-making. We are blessed in southwestern Pennsylvania with the water of the purest kind. Let me jump to the end here.
That's about all you got.
Yes, it is. And we, again, we cannot afford to wait for generations to really realize the damage that we're doing now.
I didn't know anything about this subject, and I thought it was a possible answer to my 401k going south, so I thought it was an interesting industry to look into. And the more I looked into it, the more I understood how dangerous it is to public health, to the environment, and to property value if it has to be reduced to an economic issue. I guess my question tonight, and I understand as I walked in the door that I'm not allowed to ask questions, but I would ask that everyone in this room ask this very simple question of this very complicated issue. If this is a safe or even an acceptable practice, why did Congress, why does the federal government, why do you, the EPA, as a federal agency, accept that this industry is exempt from clean air and safe drinking? So whether you will answer it or not, I suggest that that is the question that we all walk away from here tonight, and I suggest that that's the question that you guys think about when you go to bed tonight.
I would have asked that.
Okay, tonight I'm speaking not on behalf of the ECC, which I'm associated with, but as a private citizen who runs a rescue farm for abused animals. On their behalf, I'm speaking. My concern is the poisoning of our water and the lack of regulation. Nothing against our local or state officials, but they lack the knowledge base to make regulations. I'm calling upon the EPA to impose a moratorium until an objective scientific study not funded by the industry can be performed. We do not know the effect of fracking on Pennsylvania's water. Okay? Pennsylvania has another very rich resource. That is our rural nature, our agriculture, and our farms. They stand to be endangered by fracking. The EPA was designed to protect the environment, not to create jobs. Often we see in the paper a representative of the EPA or whoever government agency says, yes, this will bring jobs. That is not your job. You are an agency who was established under a conservative Republican president. Some people think we're a lot of tree huggers, the environmentalists, so I just wanted to remind you of that. To protect the environment. I will remind you of the 3 threes. You can go without air for 3 minutes. You can go without water for 3 days. You can go without food for 3 weeks. You can go without natural gas for a lifetime. Please do not allow outside interests to come to southwestern Pennsylvania, rape our resources, take their money, and go home and leave us with the environmental degradation the coal industry has done so many years. So please